Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the first game here in the final edition of the ESET UK Masters Qualifiers. This is, of course, qualifier number 4, which means the 7th and 8th seeds into the top 16 of I-47 are going to be decided right here, right now. Spawning over here in the right-hand side of Metropolis as the red Terran player. Terran's currently a little bit of an endangered species as far as qualification goes. Will he end up making the distance tonight? He has to beat this best of one first. It is going to be KrasS. And his opponent spawning in the left-hand side position. Another one of these UK Zergs that everybody writes off until they just come out and absolutely destroy everyone. Zictomini did it. Johnny Rico did it. Orc did it. Can he follow in his compatriot's footsteps? We'll find out in just a moment. It is Stolensheep. And I'm going to be honest, guys. From what I remember casting Stolensheep at I-45, which admittedly was a long time ago, so he may have changed his game up entirely since then. His play, from what I remember, tends to be a bit random. He'll happily go into a macro game and 6-pull you the next game and won't think twice about it. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategies he comes up with here on Metropolis. I think hatch first is probably just the simplest way to go, though, and he is indeed going to start with that hatch first. But a variety of strategies under his sleeve that he can use, and KrasS probably would have played him before as well. So unpredictability going to Sheep here in this matchup as far as I can understand. However, KrasS is just so unbelievably solid, such a fantastic, I would say underrated, to be perfectly honest, Terran player. He really, I would say, is the pre-game favorite here as we go hatch into pool. KrasS, a member of Team WinFact, of course, hence the WF in his name. And he is playing from Germany, yeah? And he's just a really, really good Terran player, to be perfectly honest. I think he came, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he came 3rd or 4th in the German Nationals for WCS, and that's not exactly a mean feat. I think he played with Dark Force to settle 3rd and 4th. I don't know who won that. Maybe Dark Force. I'm not sure. But this guy, guys, is pretty good indeed. And it looks like he instead is going to be going for the 1 Rax expand. So, fairly normal macro build. Drone going to be chasing down the Marine because I don't understand why, but hey, why not? Do a little bit of damage before he moves out across the map, and he's going to be moving calmly back home. No casualties on either side. Both gases being taken from KrasS now, so he will be able to start mining that very shortly indeed, and we will see that factory get put down for those reactored Hellions. So, across positions here, guys, on Metropolis. Normally you see reacted Hellions followed up with Banshees. To be perfectly honest, I think Banshees are a lot more effective when you spawn in the close by air position. So say if Stolensheep spawned in the 6 o'clock position right here, sort of down by this corner of the map, it would be much more useful to KrasS than if he spawned across positions. So sometimes we see some Terran players decide to go for maybe a second factory in Blue Flame. Always a lot of fun to try and maul your opponent to death with Hellions. But that said, Banshees still work perfectly fine if you spawn cross-map. It just means there aren't quite as many easy routes out of the base as you otherwise would have liked. Because at some point, unless you go all the way around the map and your timing hits so much later, you're going to have to fly your Banshees over ground where there might be stuff. And stuff in this case usually means queens on half-decent creep spread. So it shouldn't make too much a difference, but it might mean that KrasS will try and mix it up. We'll find out in just a moment as the reactor is about to finish on his barracks. The factory as well, Stolensheep, just continuing to macro up. Another huge round of drones. Their worker supply currently 34 to 28 in favor of our Zerg player. And indeed, there goes the starport from KrasS. So across positions, doesn't matter. We're going for the Banshees anyway, which is perfectly normal, by the way. I don't want to make it sound like it's abnormal or anything like that. Just that occasionally we might see something a little bit different, but not on this occasion. KrasS must be feeling relatively comfortable against his opponent here. Just going to be going for nice bread and butter stuff. Hasn't actually even scouted that much of what Stolensheep is doing. If we take a quick look at KrasS's vision, he's seen that a natural's gone down, and that's it. He's now going to be moving out with 2 Hellions. Notice that he's not actually making Hellions number 3 and 4 here. So that's interesting indeed. Normally we see 4 Hellions move out across. Oh no, never mind. He is actually in production. My bad. I missed the factory there. So Hellions number 3 and 4 coming out now. He's not moving them out. So yeah, the first 2 are going to come out to try and deny creep spread. Then the 3rd and 4th ones are going to come out to see if they can get some drone kills. He will spot that the 3rd base has gone down for Stolensheep at this moment in time. Good use of those Zerglings from Sheep as well, taking out those destructible rocks so early. And that's going to be really useful for him trying to defend this early 3rd base. I love this play coming in from our UK Zerg here. Now we have 4 Queens. Arthritically, if that's even a word, moving off creep towards a 3rd base location to try and stop anything that KrasS has incoming. But he will need to get his creep spread there very quickly indeed. We've gone up actually to 6 Queens from Stolensheep. So Sheep looking to go out very fast 6 Queen here. Everything looking quite hunky-dory for him. And we have a Banshee out on the field somewhere. Is it going straight across the map? Yes, it is. It's right in the middle of the map there, moving towards Sheep's base. And we also have Cloak about to finish as well. KrasS actually supply blocking himself quite heavily for a moment there. But let's see what kind of damage he can get done. He might be able to make up for it with a decent number of drone kills on this Banshee. And here we go, moving into the main base. Just going to go straight for those workers in the mineral line, not even caring. 1 kill, 2 kill, and the Spore Crawler's out of position. The Queen's out of position. Sheep isn't actually... Okay, there we go. Now moving the Spore Crawler towards the back of the mineral line. And boom, there we go. Very nice. Cloak going down. He sees that the Spore Crawler has not yet been rooted. So he is going to be able to have the time of his life here right now. Oh no, maneuvering himself outside the range of that Spore Crawler. This is actually doing way more damage than it really should against Sheep here. But guys, don't forget, the battle isn't just being fought here. We have these Hellions moving towards the natural as well. And if Sheep just continuously drones up behind this, and KrasS is not focusing or maybe letting his macro slip because he's up to 600 minerals at the moment, don't forget, and or not microing his Hellions so they can't do any damage. Just because the one Banshee does a crap ton of damage doesn't mean he's necessarily at a huge advantage. And look at this, Stolensheep actually going up to another round of 6 drones now. The Hellions from KrasS have disappeared. They probably could have killed 5 or 6 drones at the 3rd base, but nope. And KrasS instead is going to be coming back in now with 2 Banshees, because if at first you don't succeed, then you smash it in the face with a sledgehammer. 2 Queens, though, and an Overseer about to pop in. We'll be able to see both Cloaked Banshees. Needs to watch out he doesn't lose those Queens. They're good transfuse. Very clutch transfuse coming out there from Sheep, and KrasS will not be able to get any additional damage done. I like what KrasS is doing behind this, though. Look at this. He's going up to 5 barracks at the moment with add-ons. We have a factory with siege tanks on the way and double medevac production starting. So he is going into marine tank medevac with double engineering bay. Do we have an armory about to complete? Yes, we do. Behind the mineral line as well. So he is just saying, look, I'm going to do as much damage as I can with a minimum number of units, try and keep you in your base, and then I'm just going to macro up. But the interesting thing KrasS is doing right now is that he's leaving all 8 of his Hellions at the watchtower in the middle of the map when he could really be doing damage with them. And here we go, they're going to be moving out again right about now, but Sheep has decided he's had enough of this as well. Pathogen glands and 2-2 for Zerglings coming up, as well as 26 Lings on their way. It looks like he wants to do just a little bit of aggression in KrasS' general direction as well, and I see no reason why he can't do it. The current worker count, by the way, is 60 to 61 in favor of KrasS, so KrasS does have a little bit of an advantage since he managed effectively to get that 3rd base up for free. I would like to see a successful run by, if he can, coming out from Sheep, though. We see the Overseer catching more or less all the upgrades and the starport in the main base, but actually missing those 5 barracks on the left-hand side. If we take a quick look at Stolensheep's vision, we can see that he didn't actually see anything past the first barracks, so he doesn't know if there's another 3 factories here or if it's all barracks at the moment, and that might prove to be frustrating for him a little bit later on. And here we go, the Banshee's coming straight back in, and one of them immediately getting taken out. Sheep, really good with the micro here, and making sure that he doesn't get harassed, but he needs to continue to macro up behind it. We don't see any drone production at the moment, and oh, good God! These 8 Hellions out in the middle of the map. See you later. And that was something that she desperately needed to keep himself in contention in this game, because look at this. He isn't actually making any more workers. He's actually on 59 workers off of 3 base. He could really go up to that sweet spot that we see between 70 and 75, and instead he's making non-stop units at the moment, which is a really interesting decision. He's going to have the supply freed up for those units, but it's not like he's going up to 200 anytime soon. So really, I just want to see a couple more drones come out from Stolensheep before he tries to seriously pump out the army like this, as KrasS loads up 1 medevac to drop in the main, while a small force of Marines going to be taking the watchtower. A couple of tanks sieged up, left back home. only going to be poking forward with small numbers of units at this point, not wanting to do any sort of killing blow just yet. And the creep tumors do spot the Marines, so the drop actually gets taken down at the natural. Really nice, picking off 3 active creep tumors there. That's huge. Baneling speed coming in now in the meantime for Stolensheep. And this Marine force is just having absolutely unfettered access to this creep spread. Needs to really sort that out. And there we go. But so many creep tumors have now died. And does Sheep see? Oh, he does it. Sheep does not see that KrasS still has his dropship just to the north of the main base. So KrasS might be able to lift up these Marines and drop back into the main shortly. But the number of infestors there is making me think, yeah, that would possibly be a bad idea. In the meantime, though, Sheep just continuing to macro up. He's going up to 3-3 in adrenal glands now. And guys, we all know what cracklings can do, especially to get into a good position. So let's see what happens a little bit later on. A couple of changelings moving out in the center of the map, getting taken out by those Marines, though. No problem whatsoever. And KrasS is looking like he wants to move out across the middle of the map with some Marines and siege tanks. And this is looking like a pretty strong push coming out from KrasS. He is up to 190 supply versus the 140 for Stolensheep, but he will be able soon to have pretty darn impressive upgrades. He's got the Ultralisk Cabin on the way, and he's got a lot of infestors with this, guys. And when you have really nice fungal growth, pretty much anything can happen here. So let's see if the infestors are going to be leading with some infested Terrans, or what's going to happen here, because KrasS is moving towards the 4th base of Stolensheep. He actually has a 4th command center building at his 3rd at the moment as well, and a small expedition just going to be popping in here to see what's happening. In the meantime, a drop also going down in the main base, killing off a lot of stuff in the main mineral line, but a good fungal growth, and look at beautiful stuff. All of the infestors, though, going back into the main base. 17 workers killed for KrasS at the moment, but Stolensheep really needs the infestor usage here. He needs it outside his 3rd base, and he needs it soon. It looks like the 4th base has gone down now for Sheep. At the end of the day, his infestors were just a little bit out of position. He might have been able to move forward with, say, 10 or 20 infested Terrans and a couple of fungals to follow up and try and clean that up with Lings. But the infestors weren't even there, so there's no point even discussing if that kind of play was possible. And the Lings now being split up. This is not the kind of play he was looking at. Oh dear, this is really not the kind of thing he was up to do at all. The infestors even taking a couple of pot shots from the tanks there. He needs to move forward with those infested Terrans, with those fungal growths ASAP. Otherwise, KrasS will just continue moving forward with 7 or 8 Marines at a time, and there'll be nothing Sheep can do about it. Another fungal growth, really wasted, to be honest, on only 2 Marines, and the medevacs actually keep them alive as well. All he's really doing is wasting medevac energy right now, and he is buying his time, though, to get Ultralisk, and a beautiful scan from KrasS sees that the Ultras are, in fact, on the way. Now, is this going to prompt him into attack? It looks like Stolensheep is going for it. We need some infested Terrans out here. Yes, we do, but they maybe should have come down a little bit earlier to draw that siege tank fire away. More infested Terrans going down in the back. Excellent fungal growth coming out from Sheep, and the Ultras trying to do their damage, but it looks like there's just too much stuff. Sheep waited a little too long. He had the correct idea, but maybe he needed to do that 3 or 4 minutes earlier when there were only 2 or 3 tanks here with this army composition. Now Sheep is in a horrible situation. He is down to 122 supply versus the 186 from KrasS at the moment, and he's only down to 3 infestors. He needs about a gazillion infestors if he wants to win this next engagement. It's going to be very, very difficult indeed. Another small pack is effectively being donated here. Unfortunately, the rally points just haven't been where they need to be for Stolensheep in this particular game. And everything is now being researched from KrasS. Corvid reactor and Seeker missile coming out of those Ravens as well, because why the heck not? That Ultralisk Cavern gets taken down. The 3rd base is gone, the 4th base is up, and the 5th base is in construction for KrasS, who is up to 200 supply. Stolensheep down to 132. Oh, and infestors popping and dying straight away at the 3rd base. I mean, I'm a Terran player, and I weep when I see this kind of stuff. That is actually painful to watch. One more flag coming in from Stolensheep, able to pick off a decent number of siege tanks, but there are still more behind, and KrasS holds on to his very strong position outside the 3rd of Stolensheep, and I think, sadly, our UK Zerg is looking like a counterattack is his best chance of victory, but we still have tanks at home from KrasS. He is just cementing his stranglehold on this first game on Metropolis, and because this is the best of 1 as well, there won't be another opportunity to come back. 2 more Ultras coming in here, dying more or less instantly. Infestors moving straight into tanks, not really something you want to see there. Good fungal growth coming up, but just no units on the ground to back that up at all, and everything gets cleaned up here. Stolensheep down to 74 supply, and KrasS still up at 184. The Lings are at 3-3 with adrenal glands, but the Marines are at 3-2 themselves, and we've got +2 attack going down on the tanks. So the sheer DPS coming up from KrasS's army at this point is just absolutely humongous, and Sheep, sadly, is in a very, very difficult position. Sending a bunch of drones across the map because I don't know, but why the hell not? Please kill that Marine. At least kill the Marine. No, he's not even going to kill the Marine. He is honey badgering it. He does not care. I have no idea what's going on. GG, ladies and gentlemen. And KrasS wins and advances to the round of 32.